If you've ever been in an argument where everyone's talking, but no one is listening, this is exactly what's going wrong.
She thinks she's making a point.
Well, she is not. Oh my gosh, why are you still talking? Just stop talking.
That's inviting chaos.
I'm Emilio.
And I'm Rachel.
And we are the Relationship Renegades.
And here at Relationship Renegades, we're all about co-creating a world where healthy, happy, harmonious relationships are the new norm, but we like to do it in a really fun way. So we do comedy sketches and we also break down those comedy sketches. And in this episode, what are we talking about, babe?
We are breaking down the Super Bowl of relationship, a play-by-play analysis.
I love this episode so much.
We did this hilarious sort of sports commentator when the Super Bowl was going on, where we play these ridiculous sports commentators looking at doing a play-by-play of apparently we would record our fights because we were putting it on the big screen and we were pretending like we were sports commentators analyzing our fight and breaking it down in real time to see if we can be better. Super hilarious. I might have had this ridiculous monstrous of a mustache. And just...
It was great. I loved it.
I enjoyed my character.
I really enjoyed your character. I also really enjoyed my character.
Referee-ish
and if you haven't seen it, make sure and pause this episode, go check it out. And if you have, we'd love to hear any sort of comments that you have or favorite lines, favorite scenes from that episode. My personal favorite line was when you were like, no one is having sex right now.
No one's having sex at the end of the day.
Not even close. And that whole
nice.
scene.
It's wet. It's a little wet.
It's a little warm. It's a little warm.
It's nice. Yeah, that was good. So good.
And that whole scene was improv and it was so hilarious because, I mean, it was the end of the day. We had already shot several other sketches. We were like already overtime on our shooting schedule and just trying to fit it all in.
Yeah.
But I just remember we could not stop laughing that whole time. It was
Hands
so funny.
down one of my favorite sketches that we did.
Same.
Shout out to our editor, Cole Chapman.
Yes, he's
brilliant.
amazing.
Mastermind out of it all. He's amazing. So anyway, let's do the breakdown. So this one's all about fighting. We fight with our friends, with our coworkers, with strangers, with our partners.
Yes. Let's learn how to fight better, folks. You want to learn how to fight better?
There's ways to you're always going to have disagreements, but you don't always have to get into fight. It can just be conversation about it because we're all just trying to do our best. We're all going through a million things in our life, with personally, professionally, with family, with business, with kids, with everything. We have to realize that we're a team.
I love you, babe. What are we doing, huh?
Whether it's your friends, your family, your relationships, right? Your partner. And it's not about me and I, it's switching it to the we, to the team and elevating the biosphere, elevating the team, even in friendships. It's I'm not on your side or your side, friend. I'm on the relationship side. I want the relationship to win.
Yes.
I'm not going to get on sides and pick sides.
Which is so huge to think about because I think we live in a society where, so many films that we grew up on, it was always the girls started talking shit about the guys and the guys were talking shit about the girls. And it was always just well, he did this and they did that. And people they're literally trying to make it so that someone is in the wrong. Judges agree, wrong. Rather than, could you imagine a world where we grew up and it was normal to, instead of picking sides, it was let's try and understand what actually happened and where the hurt is. Because underneath anger, frustration, anxiety, usually it's hurt, right? And people aren't just mean to be mean most of the time. Most of the time we do things that might come across as mean or hurtful only because we're probably hurting inside. And once you really understand that, the whole game shifts.
Hurt people. We can't stress that enough. And you brought up frustration or anger, right? Anger, for instance, is the mask that sadness wears. And it's a hurt little boy or little girl and they're angry, frustrated, all kind of stuff. But behind that, it's because they're hurt. They're sad. And so if you can get to this, if you can heal yourself up, if you can fill your cup up, basically it's all the Relationship Renegades principles coming in together in this episode because it's how can we fill up our cup, love ourselves, take ourselves on dates, just love ourselves, become a full cup and have that full cup overflowing so that I can give my overflow to you.
Yes.
So that if things are happening in my life, I'm prepared physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, energetically. So when life happens, it doesn't affect me as much.
Yes.
Then I'm more of at 100% or closer to that. So when things happen, I'm I'm like a palm tree in the wind, in a storm. I'm bending, I'm not breaking.
Yeah.
And I think that's important, right? It's like, fill your cup up. There's that one. There's the seeking to understand one another relationship principle, right? Of like, why is my wife angry right now or frustrated, rather than being an ego and wanting to fight and getting worked up?
This couple has a 74% chance of completely ruining their relationship if any of them use the phrase, I just don't understand why you're upset.
There's probably something going on I should seek to understand. Because why? Because I care about her.
Yeah.
And I know in the sketch, it was like, there's this whole funny part where it's like, if it's important to her, it should be important to him. Should be important to him.
If this is important to her, it should be important to him.
Exactly. It's such an important principle to talk about. And also if you're listening to this, and I think it's important to note that when it comes to arguing or fights or drama, understanding that, say you grew up in a space where that was just normal, right? Maybe your parents fought a lot or people around you fought a lot.
Yeah.
Your nervous system might also just be used to that. So you might be, even if you don't want to be, recreating that.
It's your baseline. It's your nervous system. That's what feels comfortable.
It just feels what's comfortable. I remember even when we started dating, we both had this moment of like, wait, is this okay? It's so peaceful. Like, and
it's
it was
so
almost like
easy.
this feeling of like, wait, should we start a fight so it feels more comfortable? Like,
oh, no, Colin, not that.
And it's
I think that was more like
recognizing
me
that.
because I grew up in like a lot of fight or flight. I grew up in domestic violence where fighting was a normal thing, and I didn't like it as a kid, but like my nervous system knows that. And so to the nervous system, that's like what's comfortable. That's what's baseline. So subconsciously and non-consciously, I will recreate that, which is wild, but like a lot of our life is subconscious.
You do the inner work and heal and release that. And then you can choose and create a different path. But my past relationships, it was constant fights. And so I was just like, oh, this is just what's normal, I guess. But it's not normal, and it shouldn't be normal. And there are ways and tools to learn how to create a safe space where both you and your loved one, even in conflict, can feel more safe, seen, heard, and loved.
Yeah.
And that's what we really want to break down today.
Yeah. That's another one of our Relationship Renegades principles, is knowing and learning how to create a safe space for yourself and your partner to feel safe, seen, heard, and loved. Because at the end of the day, if you forget everything, if you can do that in a relationship, you're at the 1% of the population.
Yeah.
That's amazing. That's like a big thing. A lot of men and women don't know how to do that.
Yeah.
And so let's just make this.
The first steps too is learning how to do that for yourself, because we can't give away what we don't have. And one of the biggest things for me was I had to learn how to create a safe space within me where I felt safe, seen, heard, and loved. Because for the majority of my upbringing, I did not. And a really powerful tool for me was learning this question of checking with myself and being like, what kind of space am I creating for my soul to live in?
Yes.
And my honest answer to that when I first asked that question years and years ago was like, it's not a good space. Like I was creating a really anxious, like judgmental, hypercritical space for myself to live in. And that was on me. And I didn't really consciously know that until I became aware. This is why the self-awareness work is so game-changing. Because once I was able to ask that reflective question, really sit with it, really be honest with it instead of running away or distracting or avoiding. I don't think I like watching myself. Then I could be like, oh, wait. Okay, so now I'm aware. So now I get to choose. Do I want to keep doing the same thing or do I want to make a change? And then I wanted to make a change. So I started working really hard at what does that look like? How do I make myself feel more safe and seen and heard and loved? And then when I learned how to do that for me, then I could do that in a relationship as well. And that was so powerful for me.
I think it's so huge. And I'm so glad we're talking about this particular principle, because in this, Super Bowl of relationships, play-by-play analysis, comedy sketch, all the relationship principles are there. Owning your shit.
I think we're the villains.
Yeah, and like not even the misunderstood villains.
Which is a big thing, because when you own your shit in a relationship, and that's something that we practice constantly, so many beautiful things can come from that. And we dissect that in another episode you should go check out. Same thing with, filling up your cup and loving yourself. We talked about that in the dating yourself episode. And so there's a lot of them that, realities versus actualities, all these other themes that are still relative to, or relating to this episode, rather than talking about all of them. And because they exist in other episodes, go check them out. But yeah, let's talk about the safe, seen, heard, and loved. Let's just get raw and real, which is what we're big about and love to do. We're open books, very transparent. If you want to ask us anything, like drop it in the comments. If you want to know
Yes, we want to hear from you.
anything about our relationship. A lot of times you see us on social media. We're very playful and free and ridiculous and can just like be awesome together and ridiculous together. But it comes because we've done the work and we choose to continuously do the work. And
We do a lot of work.
We do a lot of work.
On ourselves and with our relationship. We really prioritize that because we know it's everything. Like it's really everything.
Yeah. And also, you know, it's the beginner's mind, meaning, you know, if my cup is full, like I already have all the information. We've already done 20 years of work, of relationship work, trauma work, shadow work, all this kind of men's work, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, I already know I don't need anything else. Then I'm not growing. And we feel like we're just
to learn.
Yeah, it's like we seem like it's like nature, like a flower. A flower is either growing or it's dying. A tree is either growing or it's dying. And so if I'm just stagnant and not learning or growing, then like this relationship's not growing. I'm not growing. And we choose to always evolve. And so we have this beginner's mind where we empty the cup and fill itself up. Like maybe there's something I need to learn about Rachel or myself. And so I think it's important to that we're students for life.
Yeah,
and I'm glad
always.
that we live that way.
Always. I'm
but
so
let's just
grateful
get
for
raw
that.
and real. So let me just ask you a question, babe. Do you feel like I create a safe space for myself and you to feel safe, seen, heard, and loved?
Yes, I do.
Okay, you could have said no. It's cool. No, it's good. Great,
Well, it's
great,
not
great,
like
great.
I think that
No,
we're
great.
human, and I think there's
Yeah.
always times when maybe like it's, you know, nobody is perfect, neither one of us. I think
Yeah.
we both, but I do think honestly we both do a very good job of working really hard and doing our very best to create a safe space
Yeah.
for each other.
Yeah.
And I'm so grateful for that because it's
Me too.
everything.
Me too. It is everything because I've felt the contrast of that 10,000 times
Same.
in the 10,000 toxic relationships. And it does feel really good. So how do I create a safe space where you to feel safe, seen, heard, and loved? What are some things that maybe come up? How I do that?
I think many different things that you do. One, what I think you're like have become so masterful at is owning your shit quickly. And I do think that one principle of learning how to create a safe space, like there's just so many times when, you know, say an argument is popping up and you can tell the conversation's getting heated and I'm expressing a certain way. And you could see how it could continually escalate and continue, like reach this blowout of a fight, but then you're so good at catching it very quickly and owning your stuff. And that's not easy to do. Like it can be very hard because that ego part of us can get so loud and every part of you just wants to be right and just wants to feel understood. But I think on both of us, I know I work really hard to come from a place of whenever I'm communicating that I work so hard to always come from a place of my stuff rather than blame or attack, but like, hey, this is just how I'm feeling.
Yeah.
And
yes.
I think that is step number one in creating a safe space is that if you ever go into an argument or a heated conversation with any sort of attack or blame, you're asking for it. Like you're literally asking for a blowout of a fight.
Yeah.
So it depends. Choose your own adventure. You know, like what do you want?
Choose your own adventure.
If you want to
Choose
have
your own
like
game and
continue
level.
to like blow out of fights all the time and live in a space where you're just like anxious and stressed out and frustrated all the time, then like have fun. But if you want the opposite and you want more peace and play and supportive, loving energy in your life, then yeah, learning phrases and tools like instead of saying, oh, you never do this or you always do that.
Never use always.
Which never and always, or if you can remove those from your vocabulary, will absolutely change your whole life.
This
Because
never and always.
and replace it with often and sometimes. Because what happens in your body if I'm like, babe, you never do the
Like
dishes.
seriously, never? Did you
Yes.
not see all the things that you never see? And then it
Yes.
continues. It's
And then
like
it
ridiculous.
continues because then if someone's actually trying to do better and you say that they never do something, automatically they're like, well, it doesn't even matter if I'm trying because you're never going to notice anyways. And so, yeah, like always or sometimes and often, just practice it.
Yeah.
We've caught each other many times
Yeah, for sure.
when we'll start to say always or never and we'll be like, babe, and we're like, sometimes and often.
Yeah, but I think this is also a point where like this is seek to understand. Like get
Yes.
curious. Curiosity is the superpower here. Like there's a fight. There's obviously something going on with your partner or your friend. Be curious. What's going on?
Yes.
There's obviously something going on. There's
Yes.
something behind it. They're usually wanting to feel seen,
Yes.
safe. Like if I'm just like I'm literally just going to be curious with my wife. And like she wants to feel seen. She wants to feel heard.
Mm-hmm.
So if I really hear her, just forget about my shit for a moment and just be like, oh, okay. Yeah, if I was in that position, I too, that's actually kind of crappy. Okay, so you're wanting this and that.
Yes.
Got it. And it's not about like having the right thing to say. Like, just be curious. Like, be compassionate, be loving. Like, just pause for a moment. Throw your stuff out the door for a second. You're going to bring it back to share it with her or him here in a bit.
Yes.
But like, oh, seek to understand. And then you're like, I get it. No, you're right, babe. That would feel really shitty.
Because
you're right.
here's
You
the
know
thing,
what?
it's
And
like-
then it's like, wow, she's like, thank you.
Yes.
Softens. Walls go down. Then
Yes.
she or he then wants to hear about your
Wants to
stuff
own their
next. And like,
stuff.
tell me why you were mad.
Yes.
What was this and that? And then because you owned your shit, or, you know, you were the higher person, then the other person's like, okay, yeah, no, I can see where, you know, like, and when you start to have that sort of habitual practice in the relationship, then it's like freaking amazing.
No, it's so incredible. In fact, we actually just went through something really hard. Like, this could have been a huge blowout of a fight. Like, and we were both so proud of each other because how
Should we say
we
what it was?
both
'Cause it's kind of a cool
responded.
thing.
Yeah.
What I got.
Like, just
say what I got?
Yeah. So he had this huge audition. It was like going to be opposite
Can I say who's going to be?
Nicolas Cage and like other huge actors. It was like a really cool
And
opportunity for him.
legendary director John Woo, who did like
Yes.
Mission Impossible 2, Face Off
Yes.
with Nicolas Cage, all these other films. Like, had a huge opportunity. Was getting casted to, I can't say the name, I don't think, of either
Yes.
the title, but like it was a big one.
And I, at the same time, had a really important healing session that I was so excited about. And ultimately, there's not time to get into the details of the situation, but ultimately there was literally it was like a lose-lose opportunity.
Lose. Yeah.
And we could have both been pissed at each other.
Because I needed her to like self-tape with me. I need her to be on the other side of the camera to like do the audition with me. And I was waiting for a long time.
And I literally wasn't available. Like, I was in a space for me that was like really important. I had been looking forward to it for a long time. There was maybe some miscommunications or important things for us to know about times that weren't talked about ahead of time.
I talked about it, what we needed to do. She needed to be there for me, but like it was in the afternoon, not in evening. I didn't clearly specify the details of like the deadline is at this time today. I need to get it done at this time. I want to get it done at this time. I need you at this time. Like all these different things. And
so just know that like this was stacked on stacked.
Yeah. Mom was in town.
Yes.
Like
my mother was witnessing this whole thing go down, but both of us were able to communicate from a loving place, even though there was hurt on both sides. So I think that's really important, that like, know that you're hurting, like name it. Don't just be like, oh, I'm angry and frustrated and just go into attack mode. Because again, if you do, you're asking for it. If you want to cut through the bullshit quickly and get to peace and love again, it's being like, okay, what's the thing underneath the thing? So if you feel angry, being able to say like, what's the emotion underneath the emotion? And usually it's hurt, and then being able to communicate from the hurt place. And our Trigger Translator app on relationshiprenegades.com, the free tool that we have, it literally helps you walk through each of these steps. So if you're confused, you're like, I don't know how to do this on my own, don't worry. We have a free tool for you. Just go on our website and it'll walk you through this whole process. But we were able to literally take something that could have been like a huge blowout of a fight, probably like months of being so pissed at each other, to like getting it like the next day and having this like peaceful, loving moment.
We would have gotten it that day. It was just like, it was at nighttime, like close to midnight.
Well, but that was an important thing too, of learning how to give each other space. When there's a lot of hurt on both sides, sometimes it's not good to have the conversation right then. Sometimes people need space and time to go on their own process. Like Emilio needed to like go in a dark room and just like cry and scream and yell. I needed to sit in my uncomfortable emotions and just feel them for a minute. And I mean, we went to bed. Some people are like, oh, don't go to bed without talking to each other.
And that's normally what we do. Like that's a rule with ours. This one actually, it was so big that it was like,
sometimes
we didn't.
It's okay to just, sometimes you need to sleep. Sometimes like sleep is a good thing and you need to reset in the morning. But I think it's important. We both had said in our communication beforehand, hey, basically like we both said, I love you. We both said that we were hurt. And we both said we will overcome this together. So I think that's the most important thing. If you do need space and time, say it.
I still love you.
Yes.
I'm going through a lot. I felt hurt. I didn't appreciate that, all these kind of things, but I need some time. Like just letting you know, I'm not going to come downstairs and have some dinner with you all. Like I need to process my stuff. So that they know like, okay, you still love me. Everything's cool. But like, I was hurt and I need to like figure this stuff out.
And that we are going to talk about it when we're both ready. Like, I think that's really important. Because if you just say like, if you just avoid it and don't let the other person know, then they might be creating stories of like, oh, is this ever going to get worked out? You know? So I think all in all, this story to showcase of like, we go through shit all the time. And every single time we see it as, oh, here's another opportunity for us to grow even more. And even though that situation sucked so bad, at the end of it, we were both holding each other, like crying and feeling so much gratitude because we felt like we unlocked this whole other level of love and understanding and connection that would have never been possible if that thing wouldn't have happened. So when we talk about how triggers are gifts, just wrapped in really ugly wrapping paper, it's so true. And there's a statement that says like, never throw out an opportunity to find the treasure in the trigger, right? So if you like throw out a trigger and you don't look at it, if you don't take the opportunity that's there, like you miss the treasure. And I feel like we unlocked a whole level of treasures.
Oh my God. My treasure was simply like, I'm usually talk about the yin and the yang. We're both masculine and feminine energies, right? Masculine being like, go, 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 grind, let's do it. Let's get into business mode, go, go, go. Feminine is like that trusting, knowing, receiving, relaxing, playing, like just everything's going to be all right. Like some people are more in this way and some people are more on this side, right? And it's about like, where are you? And maybe, you know, how can you balance that more? For me, I'm always majority of my masculine, like go, 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 stressful, we got to get things done, all this kind of stuff. And I don't, you know, I'm getting better at this, but I am challenged by taking care of myself and loving myself and making sure I have like rest and relax and rejuvenation and go and play. And Rachel does a great job of embodying that and helping me do that. But it's because I don't listen. I don't listen to the whispers. It becomes roars. God, source, universe, whatever you want to call it. Then after that, if I don't listen, it becomes a life event. And this was a life event for me, which forced me to lock myself in a room in the dark and cry and scream and listen to the spiritual, mystical music that I put on, that I just felt called to put on, and to feel all the stuff that I hadn't been feeling, whether it was with this situation, but things that I'd put aside. And I just felt it all. And because when I felt it all and I just relaxed and I trusted, I was in the feminine energy, which is what I'd been wanting and needing for months and months and months and months. I got to finally do that. And I was so grateful for that. Because at the end of the day, the only thing that matters, at least to us, at least at Relationship Renegades, is to me, is the spiritual, the energetic upgrade. The ascension, if you will, in that sense, because that elevates me, that elevates us, that elevates the business. I'm a different person attracting different higher level frequencies because I got into a higher level frequency. And so, and I'm more balanced and whole, and I feel so much better, and I have a more heaven on earth experience of that. So essentially that will always override any kind of human earthly thing. And so it forced me, the treasure for me was that. And it's a long story, but just really quick, that was one of my treasures.
Even since this happened, like last week, there's just been like such a different energy in our entire life and our entire relationship that everything does feel so much more calm and grounded. And even though we still have just as many things going on, like there's just this calm, peaceful, centered energy that, yeah, you can just tell like everything is shifted. Like we are operating on such a higher frequency, and we've literally had so many more opportunities coming in because we believe you attract who you are. So when you're operating at that higher frequency, when you're choosing that higher path, even though it feels harder in the moment, it does, like it can equate to, I don't know, like a higher love type life. Like it's just so special.
Well, can I just share what you do real quick that I love? Just to keep it balanced, because I also want to pour love into you and what you do. You do it in a lot of ways, but the first thing that came up amongst the many is you do such an exceptional job and masterful job of like, if something's going on in your life, whether it's caused by me or a friend or a business or just your own stuff, like if something's coming up, we're about to argue or just not feeling well, one, you share openly about like what you're going through. It could be something like you're on your cycle and I'm going to be a little bit more hormonal and anxious and this and that. So just FYI, if I snap or if I'm being kind of way, it's because of that. Just FYI, like I love that. But more so knowing what you need to do to process so you can get back to like baseline and to par, right? Like, you know that for you, because everyone's different, you know you need to go and dance and scream and shout and shake and process and call friends and talk to them.
Yes.
And to have God time and alone time and to walk and to work out and to listen to some great spiritual audio on stuff. And then to come back and be like, I'm a full cup now. I can have this amazing conversation so that we can get to a deeper depth and a deeper love together.
Yeah.
And like a lot of women don't do that. A lot of men don't do that. And you do such a masterful job of getting to a place so that we can enter into that next level.
Thanks, love.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Thank you
I definitely
seriously
work
so much
really
for doing
hard to do that. And thank you for seeing me in that. I do think it's such a game changer for me. So if you're someone that has a hard time doing that, I definitely would invite you to try it out. Like create more healthy boundaries for yourself so that you can fill yourself up, so that you can have the energy and the capacity to have hard conversations. And, every episode we love to give out a challenge or a takeaway. And I think with this one, when it comes to how to create a space where both people involved feel safe, seen, heard, and loved, I think starting simply checking in with yourself. And every day this week, can you ask yourself, what kind of space am I creating for my soul to live in? And what kind of space am I creating in my relationships? Like, am I creating a space where both people, myself included, feel safe, seen, heard, and loved? And if you find the answer, they're like, man, I'm not. Use a lot of our free tools on our website that we have, or have a time where you just like journal and write out like a bunch of stuff, anything that's going on in your mind or your head, just get it out of your head and onto paper, or just do like a word vomit, just to get anything out so that it's no longer stuck or blocked in you. Because if you can just catch yourself in those moments, it will shift and change everything at such a higher level.
If you're in an argument and your partner or friend is saying some things, just acknowledge what they said. Like, thank you for sharing. Use that phrase. Thank you for sharing, and be sincere about it. Don't just say like, oh, it's a phrase. It's a good phrase to use. Like, literally, like, thank them for sharing, because maybe what they shared was really hard.
Yes.
And maybe you're seeking to understand. You're like, I can see that was really hard for you to share. And so I just value, honor, and respect you for being bold and courageous enough to share that. So thank you for that. I know that was hard. And I know that like, it's an uncomfortable thing to do, but like,
gosh, and Emilio did that when we first started dating, and I had never had anybody do that to me before. And it was literally like my whole body like melted. I was like, oh, wait, that was incredible. Like, so yeah, that is such a game changer when people do that.
Yeah. So thank you for sharing is one that might, really seeking to understand in that sense. Also, if you're triggered, you're blind. Because if you're triggered, you're in your head creating a story about what's going on. You're fusing to that story. Emotions are rising from that story. And then the next thing you know, you've created your own suffering. If you're up here in a story about the person, place, or thing, if you're up here, you're not right here in the present moment, and you're missing things. You're in your own reality and not seeing actuality.
Yeah.
It's a whole long thing. And what I'm getting at is when you feel triggered, you're blind. If you're triggered, you're not present. You're missing things.
I always say you're blind, deaf, and dumb because you also, on a practical level, you literally have a rush of chemicals going through your body of adrenaline and cortisol that literally make you blind, deaf, and dumb. Like, you can't really see what's reality.
Yeah,
you can't hear what people are actually saying. So you do have to like really be intentional about taking really deep breaths or moving or shaking it out or doing anything in your process to help you get back to a regulated nervous system so that you can hear and see and think clearly again.
And we break that down also, not only the tool, relationshiprenegades.com, but we're going to be coming up next month with a Higher Love online program. So if you're interested in getting that program to just learn about all this stuff in a deep way, just comment Higher Love program, and we'll make sure that you're on the list and maybe get a discount because of that for watching this episode. But just to end it, another practical tool with that when you're feeling triggered is just like if you're feeling anger, let's just say, instead of hiding, suppressing, distracting, denying anger, no one wants to feel angry. Sometimes people will hold that in. Sometimes people express it, great, but it's in an unhealthy way. But inside, internally in your process, just like, emotions aren't bad or good. It's just energy.
Yes.
And so by just saying anger, I'm glad you're here. Welcome into the party, right? Like, feel it, because it's just energy. And when you feel it, it goes away. It processes.
Or at least, it dissipates a lot.
Dissipates a lot. If you're hiding, running away from it, don't want to feel anger, sadness, guilt, shame, whatever it is, you're making it bigger and bigger and bigger. Trust me. That's
because what you resist persists.
And so if you're triggered, name what it is, welcome it. Say, I'm glad you're here. Feel it. Take a deep breath, reset. See where it is in your body. What color is it? Touch that particular area that may be tight or whatever it is, and breathe through that area. Love that area. Love that emotion. Thank it for being there. Have a better relationship with your emotions, your feelings. They're there for a reason. As Rachel would say, they're like the ignition light, or not the ignition, but like the maintenance on your car. It's like telling you something's going on here. Acknowledge it. Welcome
they're indicators. Emotions aren't good or bad. They're just indicators. And if we don't pay attention, it's just like not paying attention when your oil light goes on in your car. All of a sudden the car would stop working and you'd be like, what the heck? Emotions are the same thing. And the more we pay attention to them, feel them. And I even love talking back to them, like asking my emotions questions. And once you welcome anger, feel anger, even saying like, okay, anger, I'm glad you're here. What are you trying to teach me? And maybe even having a journal practice where you're just writing out things that might come up from that. Because our emotions are really such powerful informators. Like they have so much to share with us and there's so much to uncover. I know for myself, when I've had that practice, man, like, I uncover so many deep things. And then the thing that I thought I was really mad about, it wasn't what the thing I was actually really mad about. It was something completely different. And I got so much clarity and awareness and insights. And then instead of having a huge blowout fight with someone, I would just be able to tell them like, hey, I realized all these things. It really wasn't about you. It was more about me. And then the whole thing just like comes into this beautiful, amazing gift and experience. Just like that.
Effect.
Good
Rachel
sound
has
effect.
great
Just
sound
like
effects, by the way.
I do.
And ladies and gentlemen, back to our character, our sports commentator self. Now, because of that, more people are going to be, or we're going to be having more sex in the room. Or what was the phrase there? It's like, these people are not, there's no one's having sex.
No one's having sex.
Nothing's happening here. No one's getting along.
I'm missing the ball.
No one's having sex at the end of the day.
Not even close.
Yeah.
No orgasms here.
No one's having sex
if you
today.
want to have
Now,
a lot of sex,
a lot more sex is going to be
then
happening.
you just use these tools and they'll help you have a lot more sex.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. But anyways, I know we have to wrap up this episode, but we're just so grateful that you've been here with us. We'd love to hear from you. Leave any comments or questions. I know we deep dived about a bunch of things in this episode and we'd love to hear from you. Any comments, ahas, takeaways, insights, and share this with anyone you think might need to hear it, because there's a lot of really powerful principles in here that we know have changed our life and our relationship, and we know can help other people out there too. And we can't wait to see you on the next episode.
Peace and love.